Bringing your homemade Victoria sponge into the office on a Friday should be viewed as taboo, as passive smoking, apparently. That's according to Professor Susan Jebb, Head Commissioner of the Food Standards Agency. Food busybodies don't have exactly the greatest track record, do they? They've spent decades pushing high-carb diets on us, telling us eggs are unhealthy and that processed sugary frosted flakes are the model way to start your day. You think they'd be eating humble pie by now? Well, lucky viewers, we don't have cake for you. Yes, we do. She went home and cooked me some. But we do have a treat for you. Restaurateur, author, presenter and all-round legend Tonia Buxton is here to talk this one over. Tonia, can I have a cake?
Yes. So these are banana and chocolate with a salted caramel topping. I saw you earlier. I ran home, baked them, brought them back to you.
What do you make of it? Well, just don't say anything while I make the noise.
So the thing is we are so sick of being banned and told what to do in this way. And that's the mistake that she made. There is, though, something to be said about being misinformed. That's the only caveat I would give her, is that we have been constantly and utterly misinformed when it comes to what to eat. So I'm lucky. I studied nutrition when I was younger. I'm a nutritionist. I know what to eat. I know what to do. But if you follow the NHS guidelines on what to eat, even now, it was the Eat Well plate and it's now the Eat Well guide. The original Eat Well plate had a full-fat Coke in it.
Didn't it?
It did, yes.
But look, they do it on tobacco and stuff like that. They tax us in tobacco because they think it's bad for us. Why shouldn't they tax us on cake? It's so good, it's almost got to be bad for me.
Because we're adults. There's a big difference. Not bad for you at all. It's very good for you.
Is it?
Yeah, well, it's got a little bit of sugar, but you can moderate that. The point is we are adults. Why aren't you fat? Tell me, why aren't you fat?
I moderate the amount I eat because I don't... Also, I just don't like... I like being a bit hungry. I don't eat that much.
OK, so I am a glutton. My genetic genes are big Greek women. And the reason that I'm not fat is because I take responsibility for my health and how I want to look. And that's what we should be guided on. We can be guided on it, but not told. You can be guided on it. If you do this, this is going to happen. If you do that, this is going to happen. If you sit down and don't move, then it's going to be very unhealthy for you. Because it's true, sitting at a sedentary job is similar to smoking when it comes to your health issues. So get up and move a bit. Maybe get a standing desk, do something else. But don't tell me whether I can bring in a cake to my colleagues or not that I've made myself. The other caveat would be is that those that go and buy all the rubbish from the supermarkets, that's sort of preservatives and toxic stuff, well, don't eat that stuff. Just don't eat it. It's rubbish.
Is there an argument to say that, as we see, it's really tragic to see really, really heavily overweight children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there an argument, though, to say that, look, let's go bring carrot sticks into the office on a Friday instead?
No, because that's the office and it's adults. We're talking about adults now. Adults can do as they please. You're old enough to do exactly as you please, to choose what you want to put in your mouth, whether you want to... You have to understand that it's going to gain you weight or not gain you weight. I'm watching this caramel sauce all over your face. It's making me up.
I'm dinner, I'm starving.
Children is a whole other ball game. And when we see obese children or very overweight children, I do think that those parents need to be spoken to by someone who understands nutrition to help their children to lose some weight. Or, people nowadays...
Isn't that what she's trying to do, though?
But she's doing it to adults. There is a big difference between doing it to adults. Well, she's talking about bringing cakes into the office. She struggled when people brought cakes into the office because she felt it was tempting. You're an adult. Deal with it. Life is temptation. You decide what you're going to do. Take responsibility for yourself.
That's temptation.
And do what you've got to do. But it's a completely different ballgame when it's children. So there is a line to be crossed. But what she was talking about is, don't let people bring cakes in if it's their birthday in the office when we're all adults. It's completely ridiculous. Stop telling us what to do. Let us take responsibility for our lives.
I feel like I've provided an appropriate devil's advocacy to your position.
You did.
So now I'm going to agree with you 100%. Can they just leave us alone, the miserable SODSs? It's like, can't we just get on with our lives?
I mean, that is the...
Why do they want to interfere all the time?
Because they want to control us. And by interfering, they control us. And it makes them feel better that they're doing something. But what upsets me most of all is even when they do interfere, like the Eat Well guide, It is wrong. They're giving misinformation. That upsets me because, say I'm an adult, I want to get some guidelines, and I go and look at these guidelines. They are incorrect. They are full of carbohydrates and things that you do not need a huge amount of. And even in the protein section, they're saying pulses and grains, which are fantastic, but they're not complete proteins. They're not going to be good enough. And as we get older, we don't absorb as much protein. The only way we're going to do that is by eating animal proteins, actually.
My mum always said that the sugar thing was a complete lie. The fat thing was a complete lie. She said sugar is the problem.
Yeah.
And she was a nurse, so it seems to me that this sort of science will change again. But what you're promoting is eating healthy, natural food.
We know that the best diet you can have is the Mediterranean diet. Actually, it's the Greek diet. The studies were done based in Crete in the 1970s, and that's the way you eat. You eat a colourful diet. You cook from scratch. If you really want to do yourself a favour and be healthy and be well, learn a few recipes and cook them from scratch. And if you do that, I promise you, you will be better. You will feel better and you'll lose some weight.
My mum taught me 7 recipes for 7 days of the week, and my kids get them whether they like it or not. Tonia, thank you very much. Right, Professor Jebb clarified. Oh, my Lord, I shouldn't have done that. Clarified her comments, it was so good though, and their relationship with the FSA policy. I want to make it very clear that the views expressed in the Times article are not those of the FSA board, nor do they reflect current plan or planned FSA policy in any way whatsoever.